Hi everyone, I'm Jen with 2 N's and I've used she, her pronouns. And I've been talking about Liz Braswell's Twisted Tales for the last couple of weeks. And today I will be talking about a third Twisted Tale. This one is about one of my favorite Disney movies that I watched when I was younger. It's still one of my favorite Disney movies, and it is Beauty and the Beast. And Liz Braswell's Twisted Tale is called As Old as Time. And the question that she asked is, what if Belle's mother cursed the beast? Super intriguing, right? I was super intrigued because Belle doesn't have a mom in the movie, in the Disney movie, well, in the Disney or the live action movies. Because it was one of my favorites, I was definitely super nervous about reading it. I have really high expectations when I like something, so I was nervous. However, after reading it, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought that it was super pretty well done. So what's cool about this book, Tale as Old or As Old as Time, is that Liz has like 2 parallel stories happening at once. So she has like Belle's parents' history growing up and like what the kingdom was like when they were younger and what was going on happening. And at the same time, we get like the present day stuff with Belle and the Beast and Gaston and Maurice and all that good fun stuff. So it was interesting to see what her take on it would have been like. And in the kingdom, it's also been like a pretty long time since I read this book, so I'm trying really hard to like remember specific details. So if I say something incorrectly, I apologize. So there is non-magical and the magical people. And then as usually happens when there's differences among humans is hatred was born, hatred and distrust was born, and it was stoked, by certain people, as is what happens in our real life. And so the magical people became to be distrusted and hated and kind of like hunted. And so Belle's mom, from what we can see about the question that Liz asks, is magical because she asks, what if Belle's mom cursed the beast? So we know that Belle's mom knows the magic. So her and her people began to be kind of like hunted, and hunted is kind of like really the best word that describes what was happening to them in their kingdom. And so it's interesting to see kind of like that little turn of events and her take on that. And then we get to learn about how Maurice and Belle's mom like meet and get together and get to know each other. And so that's also really cool to learn about them as kids and to see what things were like. And then so we go, like I said, it kind of like alternates back and forth between past and present. Yes, past and present. And so that's kind of happening in the past. And then in the present, there's some similar things that happen. So like it's just Belle and her dad. Belle's the outcast. She's the weirdo, right, of the town. Maurice is the crazy person of the town. And Maurice does this thing with his little invention guy and then takes his little horse and trots off to go enter it into the thing that they were going to enter it into. And on the way, horse gets lost, right? Ends up at this castle, gets taken, the horse runs back. Belle's like, oh no, Dad. And then she goes off to find him and goes into the castle. So all of that happens like in the book. It's just that once like she's in the castle as the prisoner, that things kind of go just a little bit twisted and different. And when Belle touches the rose, that's when she gets these visions of the enchantress, the one that cursed Beast. And that's when we learn that that's Belle's mom that cursed the beast. So we don't have to wait too long into the story to learn. I guess we don't have to wait at all to learn that that's what happened, because that's what Liz asks, like the question, right? But we don't have to wait too long in the story to see how it happens and to see what happens. So that was really nice. So that was one of the reasons why I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, because you get to see this really cool thought process and creation about the kingdom and the world before Belle and how Beast was cursed and why he was cursed. I don't want to spoil that, but it was kind of like how everything happens. If magic was real and like this was like a real life thing, I could see that happening like in real life. It's plausible. Is that the right word? Plausible? It seems plausible to me. Like I could see that specific situation happening with how and why the beast was cursed, because he was a little shit, and his parents were little shits, and I guess old shits. They're just mean. But you'll learn more about that and why. But I think you may be able to take some guesses. I mean, royalty, and then there's like hatred of a specific people and they're being hunted. Think about it. You'll figure it out. Or you could just read it and then you'll see why. So that's one reason why I liked it. Another reason why I liked this book, you'd think there wasn't, like in the other books, there's like deaths and like the death is, like Mufasa level sad. In this book is darker than just like a Mufasa level death. One, murder of people because they're different. That's a big dark. It's a dark check. And then there's another dark spot that kind of continues from that cleansing, that little hunting that was happening of a specific people group that is happening in present day, but we don't learn about until later in the book. But there's an asylum that we learn about, which I mean is in the movie too, right? That's where they're going to take Maurice, crazy old Maurice. So there's also an asylum in this one. And like stereotypical old-fashioned, old-timey asylums, it's not a good place. It's terrible, very, very bad, very dark, and there's other dark things happening there that you learn about later in the book. But again, like it's connected to the past events too. Everything is connected because it's a story. So yeah, I just really liked how she talked about that and how she talked about the character, the person who was running the asylum and why they were doing what they were doing and what was going on. It really relates all back. It's kind of like this whole story is like centered around like the hunting and the hatred of a group of people due to their magical abilities and just like this distrust that grew and how they became hated and hunted. I feel like I said that 6 times, so I apologize. But everything really centers around that specific fact. And again, like I've already said too, I mean, that's just something I feel like is in human nature. I mean, there's so many times in history where genocides happened because of a hatred of a group of people over things that didn't really make any logical sense. And so Liz really picks up that specific part of some people's human nature, right? That hatred piece, and she develops it into this really good, deep, rich book that really explores that. And that's why, I think that's really the reason why I like it. And she doesn't really destroy Belle's character. Like she's Belle. I don't, like in the movie, she wasn't really like a damsel in distress, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a huge fan of Snow White. I wasn't really a huge fan of the Disney movie. It's my husband's favorite. She's very damsel-y to me, and I'm not a huge fan. And Belle, I don't think was ever like that in the movie, and she's also not like that in the book, so that's good. Like Belle maintains her character and her independence and curiosity and all that kind of stuff. Beast is Beast. So I mean, like the main characters didn't lose their character. They didn't lose who they were in this book. She just really added a lot to it, asked some questions and did some twisty things to add to the story. So that's really nice. It really maintained the integrity of the movie. I guess you could say that would be the right thing to say. It maintained that, and then she just added some cool little stuff to the historical context and then changed the events because of the historical context. So starting to repeat myself, but that's why I liked it. That's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Something else. I'm not gonna do my best to not do spoilers, but Gaston. So how in the movie there's the beast, and there could be this one thought that who is the beast? Is it Beast or is it Gaston? Because he's kind of a twat muffin. So it's who really is the beast? That same question among those characters and a couple of other characters, I feel like you can also really ask that question, who is really the beast in this situation? Is it Beast, Gaston, or C or D character? You know what I mean? So that's also super interesting. One reason why I've heard that people don't like this movie is because they see it as Stockholm syndrome. Belle's captured and falls in love with her captor, and that's very Stockholmy and just really kind of, this abusive relationship. And I guess if you look at the actual definition and you take it literally to apply it to this story, yeah, there could be some Stockholmy stuff if you look at it literally and to the letter. But if you don't look at it that way, if you see it as somebody being this tortured soul, no, it's still really kind of Stockholmy, isn't it? A very tortured soul and just that. But I still like it. I still think it's a good movie. okay? Just don't think too deeply into the Stockholmy stuff. If you just close that part of your brain off, just tell it to go away, then I think that you too will enjoy this if that was one of the reasons why you didn't like it. I'll be doing another one of Liz Braswell's Twisted Tales next time, and the next one that I read was Sleeping Beauty. That one, I was extremely surprised by how I felt about that book, and you'll learn why when I talk about it. So that's that. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I've been watching this chick who does these like murder mystery makeup videos on Facebook. Her name is Bailey S. And every time she ends her video, she says, "Make good choices." So now that's in my head for some reason when I'm saying goodbye. So I hope you have a great day, make good choices, and if you want to see booky pictures about things, you can go to my Instagram. It's the same name as my YouTube thingy. It's read.with.2njen, and the 2 is the number 2, because I have 2 n's in Jen. And that's that, and that will be down below too. And that's that. So I hope you have a great day. I already said this. Have a great day. Make good choices, and I'll see you next time. Bye.